Hello my fellow Tamrielites. Update 48, Season of the Worm Cult Part 2, will drop on October 27 for PC Mac and November 12th on console. However, before that happens, all servers will begin the Writhing Wall event on October 13. I always go through all the rewards available with each patch, and in this case, because the Writhing Wall event and the new zone are so entwined, I'll be showing the rewards for the event and the new patch together. One big disclaimer. While I confirm everything I can, all this information comes from the PTS and patch notes, which means details might change when the patch goes live. That's always true, but especially important in this case because content is being dropped in waves and not all at once, and tracking down which bits went where was a challenge. I intend for these videos to be perpetual references, so I do my best, but if you are living in the future and the patch is already live, I recommend you confirm drop sources before grinding. Also, please check the video description for corrections or updates. I will add them there. On that note, if something in the video is incorrect, please speak up in the comments and I'll put the correction in the description and an append comment. We'll begin with the new craftable furnishing plans coming to us with the Writhing Wall event and Update 48. The patch notes say 86 new craftable furnishing plans will be added. 66 will drop in Solstice containers and from mobs. 13 will be added as Antiquity excavation bonus loot in Solstice. 6 will drop in the algae-laden Sunport packs from Solstice fishing, and 1 plan will start dropping from the Veil of Revelry Delve boss. This batch I'm showing first are all of the Tideborn and Stone Nest themed furnishing plans from those 86 craftable furnishings that will be added. Undoubtedly, some of these plans will come from Antiquities and some will come from fishing, but I couldn't sort out the sources for certain, so I filmed them grouped by theme instead. By the way, those 3 little plaques hanging off the edge of the table on the right aren't part of the table, they are separate pieces, probably plans from the Antiquity excavation bonus loot if I had to guess. This is also a guess, but remember I said that 1 plan will be falling from the Veil of Revelry Delve boss in Solstice? That delve is one of the 2 places in Solstice where I can remember seeing this piece, so I'm guessing that this is the plan that will be dropping from that boss. It's called the Glass Wine Harp Sanguine, and its presence here is proof that Sanguine will crash any party, even one thrown by Molag Bal. I loved this piece when I first saw it and wondered if it was going to be a new gold plan from Rawlis, but this makes sense too. However, please note that this one, unlike similar instruments in the past, on the PTS anyway, this one cannot be played. That may be a glitch on the PTS that will fixed later, but probably not since the tooltip doesn't indicate that it's interactable. If that part's important to you, be sure to do some research after it goes live, but before you farm it. From here out, our craftable plans are Worm Cult themed. I'm usually not into skull furniture, but Morticia Adams would definitely sleep in that 4-poster bed, and that's good enough for me. However, I must point out, that shelf to the right of the bed is described as leather in its title, and guys, I don't think that's leather. I think that's full-on Ed Gein kind of situation, and it's the same color and texture as used on the dressers and the chests and things and other pieces, so I mean, you do you, but if you're emulating Ed Gein, you might want to not. We also have some cool new library furnishings, including new books. The lights are also great looking. I personally would avoid tables or chairs that had spiky bicks sticking up ready to stab me, but again, I'm not here to tell you how to live, you reckless, dangerous fool, you. And then there's the Worm Cult pieces that have even more personality than the spiky wooden benches. Here are some craftable pieces that will really make the neighbors sit up, take notice, and call the HOA and city code violation guy faster than you can say Is that a word that'll get me banned on YouTube? Let's avoid that. Instead, let's ponder this. The patch notes said 86 plans would be added, but only 80 plans were in the template characters bags. I think I found 5 of those missing pieces, and here are the first 3 of my guesses. I cannot guarantee these will be craftable plans, however. It's possible they will drop only as furnishings themselves, or maybe not at all. If the plans do drop, it will be likely from Writhing Wall event reward bags, but let's not put money on that. And here are the last 2 pieces I think will be available as craftable plans. That big platform and the bad boy on top of it. He's the reason I'm being so very cagey about whether this set of 5 items will be craftable. Since I didn't see the plans, I hate to promise. It's possible he'll only be available from the Crown Store in a package, but I couldn't not show him just in case. He's a gold quality item, so the plan will be rare if it exists. If you love him, and I totally see why you would, you might want to investigate further after the patch drops. Here's where the lines start to blur a little more. Technically, these plans were put into the game with last update, Update 47, but they all dropped from dailies during Phase 1 of the Writhing Wall event, which begins October 13. I believe the Wall daily reward coffers will be dropping both the plans as well as the furnishings themselves. My next video will be about the Writhing Wall event, and that video will be up on October 13 when the event begins, so if you have questions like, what do I mean by Phase 1, those will be answered more fully there. But for now, the TLDR is that the Writhing Wall is this year's community participation event. Every Writhing Wall daily you complete during the event aids in the destruction of the wall that divides Western and Eastern Solstice, and the servers are all in competition to see which gets through it first. The event will roll out in 3 phases. In Phase 1, we build a huge siege engine powered by a light of Meridia, focused through a huge lens. All the dailies we complete go to the building of the Meridian lens, which activates in Phase 2. And because I've apparently been good enough this year to get a nice holiday present from the Daedric Prince of the Pumpkin Patch, craftable plans of the lens replicas, these right here, will be dropping in the event reward bags. While I've got a couple of seconds, I will be drawing a name from the comments 1 week after this video posts for a code giveaway. More about that later, but while you're entranced by the shiny things on the screen, how about hit the like button? It also likes shiny things. Those were the new craftable plans coming with the Writhing Wall event and Update 48, from containers as antiquity bonus loot, from fishing packs, the Veil of Revelry Delve Boss, and reward coffers from the Writhing Wall dailies. Moving on to furnishings we purchased from vendors, 17 new pieces will be added to the home goods vendor. First up, we've got a big Galen Druid platform if you're in the mood for a scratch build, and more shiny things, I'm happy to say. I may have to redecorate the home I did as a geode after the Miramore crystal clusters came up. Or maybe I'll come up with an entirely new project to use them in, but the point is that more crystal beds are always a good thing. Next up from the home goods vendor is a category I'm describing as beach debris, but if debris includes a giant shell, that's fine, I'll take it. The wooden-looking pile would be a great addition to a shipwreck scene, too. And then we've got some more of the beautiful trees of Solstice. Nice and colorful, not like the demon trees added to Skingrad with the last patch, and I'm still having nightmares, but aren't these lovely? I don't think we've got another tree in the game with green leaves and flowers that deep red color. I'm a big fan. And then there's this huge bush. That's one plant there. I left the columns in place for scale. I appreciate this piece. It's a great way to visually block off a huge patch with one organic-looking item, which if you need it, you need it. Very nice addition. That was the big ground mass version, and this is the tree version of the same plant. Looks ready-made for a hammock, doesn't it? We've got a couple of good hammocks available in the game. Maybe I'll set one up on this tree in a garden. And that brings us to the end of the home goods furnishings. Let's move on to the new achievement furnishings. The patch notes say we're getting 6 new ones, but 2 were added with the last patch for a total of 8. I'm assuming that the 2 that were added in Update 47 were added then because they will become available with the start of the Writhing Wall event on October 13, and the rest will go live with Update 48 in late October or mid-November, but I can't say for certain when any of these pieces will be available for purchase. I am starting with the 2 achievement furnishings that were added in the last patch. Firstly, the Stirk Fellowship Command Tent, which can be purchased after unlocking the achievement Siege Camp Guardian. That's completing 30 Siege Camp defense dailies given by General Zasiba in Solstice, which is part of the Writhing Wall event. So if you can access Solstice, you can start earning that achievement on October 13. You can participate in the Writhing Wall event if you don't have Solstice unlocked. 3 of the 4 dailies possible during the Writhing Wall event do not require the content pass. Those dailies can be picked up on Stirk Island and completed in the base game world. The General's dailies are the only one of the 4 that have to take place on Solstice, since that's where the camps need to be defended. This is the other achievement furnishing, the Worm Cult Crystal Pylon, that was technically part of Update 47 and therefore should be available at the start of the Writhing Wall on October 13. However, in order to purchase it, you have to unlock the achievement Barrier Buster, which is finishing the first step of the New Zone story quest, Crossing the Wall. That quest is somewhat entwined with the Wall event, so if your server hasn't gotten to Phase 2, the quest will pause at a certain point, as you can see in the clip that I'm showing. Prince Azah will tell you to help Scordo build the camp defenses until the server gets to Phase 2, at which point the quest will progress and you'll be able to complete it and unlock the related achievement. So you won't be able to buy this achievement furnishing right away, but it's worth the wait, right? I'm not a big Worm Cult fan, but I do like me some shiny crystals, as I may have mentioned. Now on to the 6 new achievement furnishings added with Update 48, coming in late October and early November. The Ashbound Hall Aspect Lock replica will be available for purchase after unlocking the achievement Solstice Master Explorer, which is a meta achievement including Western Solstice Cave Delver, which is 3 delves in Western Solstice, East Solstice Cave Delver, the 3 new delves, and Solstice Pathfinder, which is 10 points of interest, 5 in each zone. This Meridian Cynosure Inert will only be 5,000 gold if you're looking to pick up a few dozen for the Meridia Shrine that almost seems obligatory to build at this point, right? But is she really a good guy? Only time will tell. You can buy this after unlocking the achievement Eastern Solstice Sky Shard Hunter, which is collecting the 9 new Sky Shards. The Tideborn Ceremonial Pool can be purchased after unlocking the achievement Solstice Pathfinder, which is discovering all 10 points of interest, the 5 ones previously available in Western Solstice and the 5 ones that are new in Eastern Solstice. It's nice, isn't it? And then we get to the Worm Cult furnishings, and look, don't get me wrong, I think this banner looks fantastic. You can buy it after killing the 3 world bosses in Solstice, assuming you're up for proudly displaying your allegiance to the people who play in graveyards and do things that'll get me demonetized if I make jokes about them. If that's your deal, then you could not possibly get a cooler banner to which display said allegiance. And here's this little fishing tent for cultists. It's right there in the name, Worm Cult Tent Cultist. And kind help me if that isn't a snazzy little camping tent. It honestly is. Dark but highly saturated colors, sharp design. It's great if your cultists need tents, and if you've unlocked the Eastern Solstice Master Angler achievement. But then there's this, and it's cool, I'm not arguing that. It's also Mannimarco's sarcophagus. Do I want Mannimarco in my house, dead, alive, or any version in between or neither? No, I really do not. Anyway, cool coffin, bro. Enjoy trying to end the world. I'm gonna keep trying to stop you. That's the end of the achievement furnishings and my rant about Mannimarco, and I'm happy to say that Update 48 will give Ralaslalu 1 new item to sell, the Sea Witch Weather Totem. This furnishing item will allow you to change the weather in your home and can be purchased for crafting Writ vouchers, which is good news for those who missed the weather control item from the Impresario. It has 4 settings, normal, overcast, stormy, and clear, and I've noticed the exact kind of weather produced varies by the zone's climate, so stormy looks different in northern elsewhere than it does in Solitude, for example, and I don't know why, but I really love that. This is the end of the furnishings that can be purchased from vendors. Next up, we'll take a look at furnishings that can be found in-game. The patch notes said that 2 furnishings would start dropping from treasure map chests with Update 48, and since paintings are usually found in treasure chests, albeit overland ones, I'm thinking that's probably the source for these, but if you find one somewhere else, please let us know in the comments. The patch notes also said 6 furnishings would start dropping from algae-laden sunport packs, and I believe these are the 6. I really love these kelp shelves. They'll be great for the bottoms of aquariums and for covering up muddy water. And be sure not to miss the oar and fishing knife off to the left. With Update 48, 6 new items will be added to the loot tables for harvesting crafting nodes in Solstice. We'll be seeing 2 new items from alchemy and clothing nodes. I believe that's the 2 flowers. 2 items added to tables for blacksmithing and jewelry crafting nodes, probably the rocks. And 2 items will be added to woodworking nodes, which I believe are the fallen palm fronds. Last up, for furnishings found in-game, we have 2 new categories. Furnishings found while adventuring, there are 6 of those, and 1 piece in this set is found as a furnishing, not a plan, in bonus loot while excavating Antiquities, which is a new thing. They were all in the same bag, so I can't say for certain which is which, but the skull on the right is called Extinct, so I'm guessing that one is the Antiquity bonus loot. The other 6 furnishings will be dropping from enemies in 4 places. The Solstice Public Dungeons, that's both Dietra Grotto and the new public dungeon in Eastern Solstice, Callandvale Gardens, and also from enemies in 2 delves in Eastern Solstice, Sea and Sword Lodge and the Lair of the Black Worm. Our last category of furnishings includes the new Antiquity furnishings, 12 of them. The map of Solstice is the only green item of the 12, and the vitrified crystal next to it is a gold quality furnishing. They both have one lead, and I really hope those vitrified crystal leads aren't hard to get. Next up, we've got some Molag Bal bits, or more properly, bits of a broken effigy, but either way, I'm not as eager for these to be common leads like I am with the crystal. Though, I do like the idea of adding them to a memorial and probably will end up using them. The arm is a blue piece and the head is purple. Both have one lead. I like building mechanisms and contraptions, and these will work really well alongside the drawbridge achievement furnishing added to the Undaunted vendor with the Nash Kaldish dungeon. Between these and the last patch, we're racking up all the tools we need to build a right proper set of Indiana Jones jungle ruins. If only we had an open floor plan house to build such a thing. If you are playing Zell's the Bingo game, or the drinking game, I said the thing, you can react appropriately. Speaking of big, cool-looking ruin furnishings I need space to use properly, this Stone Nest Temple Pillar will be a new purple furnishing. Quite epic. I can hardly wait to see the Stone Nest Argonians on the east side of the wall. And the Stone Nest awesomeness rolls on with this gigantic Stone Nest gazebo. Given its age, size, and weight, this is, no doubt, my friends, the legendary gazebo of myth who mowed down so many hapless D&D parties of the past. Rest in peace, my fallen comrades. Our last 4 antiquity furnishings are Worm Cult and Cold Harbor themed, starting with this Cold Harbor Soul Furnace. It's a purple item with one lead, and I really like this, not just for Daedric environments, but for like an intense blacksmithing forge area. I can't make all the projects though, so if you end up building something like that on PCNA or EU, please come back and leave a comment telling me which house to come visit so I can live vicariously through your efforts. This next antiquity is the Daedric Gate Cold Harbor, a gold piece with one lead. In all seriousness, I'm not likely to build a Daedric-themed house, but I gotta say the Daedric pieces in this update are fantastic looking. I use my Cold Harbor house for storage, but this does make me kind of want to build something there, if for no other reason than maybe to do an homage to the story and the characters. And just in case the Cold Harbor Gate wasn't quite Daedric goth enough for you, here's this Reaper pattern template. I'm not even the demographic, and I'm like, that's too cool not to use. And obviously, the thing to do is to build a giant Daedric forge, right? Because our last new antiquity furnishing is the Cult Blacksmithing Station, a gold quality furnishing with 5 leads. I used to play Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Anyone out there remember the Anvil of Doom? It was this huge anvil on wheels that the dwarves used to drag around. Or maybe that was just me. I played that mini for a long time after it was useful. I had so much time in painting it and making little banners and things. But for real, I'm a hypocrite, because for all my talk about not decorating in Daedric, back then I usually ran an undead army, and this little battlefield blacksmithing station is kind of making me feel weirdly nostalgic for both of those armies. Damn it, that's exactly how cults lure you in. Or so I hear. That's the end of the furnishings, so let's move on to skill styles and hope the Worm Cult-themed power doesn't go to my head. During the Writhing Wall event, the daily reward bags will drop fragments of the skill style Bone for the Caltrips ability in the Assault line. You'll need to acquire and use 25 fragments to get the skill style. The second skill style we'll be looking at is for the Soul Trap ability in the Soul Magic line, the Worm Writhe variant. This skill style also comes from collecting fragments, which in this case drop from Eastern Solstice Public Dungeon, Callandvale Gardens. I'll show both skills now on a split screen so you can see the default appearance along with the new. While that's running, I'll do the YouTubey thing and mention that if you are enjoying the video, please share it on social media with the hashtag ESO and tag Zos at The Elder Scrolls Online. That's the best way to get the link to other people who will enjoy it. Watching all the way to the end also makes the bots happy, so while I do make these as reference videos, maybe let it play after you get to that bit you came for. It really does help me out. You don't work for me though, so thanks for just hanging out with me today. That's the plug officially over, and we're segging into gear. The gear in Update 48 is unusual in some respects. Here's a look at each. The motif for the Overland set is Stirk Fellowship, which we've been seeing on the NPCs in the Solstice storyline, mixed with pieces from their own race or culture. The style mats drop in the reward bags for the Writhing Wall, and the motif pages will either drop at the siege camps or in the daily reward coffers for doing the siege camp dailies. I'm not quite sure from the way the achievement is worded. Either way, we'll be seeing these in the game starting October 13. Instead of 3 different Overland gear sets, the new set Zanmir Genesis comes in heavy, medium, and lightweight versions. I'm showing the heavyweight set first. Please note that I filmed this fairly early in the PTS run, so the specifics of each set may differ from what actually goes live. The gold coin on the left shoulder cannot be dyed, and some of the buckles stay that same golden color as well. That isn't a huge deal though, it's easy to incorporate. Speaking of dyes, the dark blue you see in the inner layer is the new dye color, Soulseeker Blue, which comes from unlocking the Hero of Eastern Solstice achievement. I'll spotlight that dye more later. Lastly, we have the light armor look with the jerkin. I'm excited about this armor and eager to give the final version a try when it goes live. I love me some stat boosts and regen for solo play, mostly because I hate doing heavy attacks. I could see a heavy armor version of this being fun in the Infinite Archive or other solo content, but the regen works for allies too, which is interesting. Don't know if this will work its way into the rotation for group content or not. Here's a look at the Stirk Fellowship Light Robe while we check out the new mythic, the Huntsman's War Mask. This piece was drastically revamped after its first release. It now gives a 20% increase in damage to the marked target instead of 8%, for example. Since it directly competes with the Oakensoul Ring, it needs to be a heavy hitter, pun intended, or there's no place for it. As just stated, I'm not much for heavy attack builds, so I'm curious if anyone out there has a strong opinion on this one. Our last two gear sets are from the two wilderness crafting stations in Eastern Solstice, Fellowship's Fortitude and Shared Burden. I've decided against showing a map of Eastern Solstice because that might be spoilers for some, but if you're looking for them, Fellowship's Fortitude is in the south part of the zone and Shared Burden is in the north. Fellowship's Fortitude is the second of the crafted 12-piece gear sets we've seen. The previous one was offensive in focus and this one is more defensive. Our second craftable set in Eastern Solstice is Shared Burden, which I believe is our first ever set with mechanics for companions, and I love the idea that my companion could automatically revive in combat after dying. I am very curious to play with this over time and see if that one thing is worth wearing this instead of different gear, or if it doesn't hold up. I do like the idea of companion-centric player gear though, and hope to see more of these in the future. That brings us to the end of the new gear, and it's time to take a closer look at the new dye color and outfit styles coming our way. The dye is called Soulseeker Blue, and as I mentioned earlier, it is earned by unlocking the achievement Hero of Eastern Solstice, a meta achievement that includes Champion of Solstice, which is completing all of the quests in the zone story, East Solstice Cave Delver, clearing the new 3 delves in East Solstice, East Solstice Grand Adventurer, completing 16 unique quests in East Solstice, Defender of East Solstice is defeating the 3 new world bosses, and lastly, there's clearing the new public dungeon group event in Calendville Gardens. The Hero of Eastern Solstice achievement also unlocks the title Death's Gift, as well as earning you this Soulseeker Blue dye. So that's the dye. We'll also be seeing 2 new outfit styles, the first being the Warm Writhe outfit style. According to the patch notes from Update 47, pages from this outfit style will be rare drops in the Writhing Wall reward coffers, so we might start seeing them in the game on October 13, but it's possible that they won't start dropping until Phase 2 or 3. Regardless, the wall reward bags are the source. I'm showing this outfit style undyed, by the way. That's the natural look. I think it's got a lot of possibility. Scythe Knights are elites in the Worm Cult, and as you complete Eastern Solstice achievements, you'll unlock pieces of this outfit style inspired by their look. Since the achievements are East Solstice content, they'll be available after Update 48 goes live. Digging through the achievement list, here are the achievements associated with each of the pieces in handy chart form ready for screen capping. And if you're the sort who enjoys a good chart, while it's sitting up there, I'll mention that the like button is handy and the subscribe button is nearby as well, and they both get pretty lonely if ignored. Next up for aesthetic rewards, we have the Stone Nest Zanmare face and body markings, a crown, a set of earrings, and a new hair adornment. None of them include bismuth, which is a bit confusing to be honest. The Stone Nest Zanmare face and body markings are earned by completing the quests To Know the Void and Roots in Stone, respectively. Those are both quests involving the Stone Nest Argonians in East Solstice, but I'm not going to include a map of the location spots as usual, in keeping with my decision to not show the Eastern Solstice map with locations filled in. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. Did you come here for a map to the spots and it's frustrating that I left it out, or are you happy to keep the map spoiler-free? I don't know that I'll keep doing it this way in the future, but with all the suspense around the wall event, it seems appropriate here. A new major adornment, the Worm King's Crown, is up next. As you can see from the tooltip, this adornment is earned by completing the quest Supporting the Fellowship. That's the quest you'll get from Scordo during the Writhing Wall event, and in turn it leads you to the dailies. However, the quest rolls through the event in little increments, and I'm unsure if this reward comes after completing the first step with Scordo or not until the end of the event when the quest closes for good. Next up is a major adornment that's a spray of flowers for your hair, which is quite lovely. As before with the markings and crown, this adornment is earned by completing a quest. In this case, it's the quest The Gates of Mornarl, which is the 5th quest in the main zone story. Lastly, we have the Azure Plasm Opal Earrings, a minor adornment. These are the reward for completing the quest Fleeing the Shadows, which is a side quest in the East Solstice zone and not part of the main zone story. I feel like the lack of a map here is me not doing my job, so do let me know what you think. Next up, we've got the mounts that will be coming at various points in October, and there are 2. When the Writhing Wall event begins, we will also see a Golden Pursuits campaign open. The activities in the Golden Pursuits will all be associated with the Writhing Wall event, and the rewards will also be wall-themed. This Wormwrithe Bear Lizard will be one of the rewards for the Golden Pursuits. At this point, I don't know much else about the Golden Pursuits, but hopefully I'll be able to conclude more deets in the Writhing Wall video I'll be posting on October 13th. I'm also hoping to be in my Discord for most of that day, depending on life stuff. I'll put up a comment post about my plans once they firm up. The second mount we'll be seeing in the Season of the Worm Cult Part 2 is the Cold Harbor Deathhound. This mount is the reward earned by unlocking the meta achievement Savior of Solstice, which is pretty much everything, so let's take a quick look at that. The Hero of Western Solstice includes both the sub-achievement Hero of Western Solstice and the new one, Hero of Eastern Solstice, that we already discussed. Those achievements are all the quests, the delves, the world bosses, and both public dungeon group events. The Specialist About Solstice achievement is 30 solo dailies from Sunport, and the Solstice Monster Bane is 30 world boss dailies from Sunport. However, the Siege Camp Guardian achievement is 30 Siege Camp dailies, and that will be part of the Writhing Wall event. The Antiquarian's Chase is finding 1 each of the 3 mythics that were released with Western Solstice, and the Huntsman's War Mask is the achievement for finding 1 of the mythic of the same name from Eastern Solstice. The Solstice Skyshard Hunter achievement includes both the Skyshard achievements for Western and Eastern Solstice. The Solstice Master Angler achievement includes both the fishing achievements for Western and Eastern Solstice, and the Solstice Master Explorer achievement includes both the Western and Eastern Solstice Cave Delver achievements, as well as the Pathfinder achievement that includes 5 points of interest in Western and 5 points of interest in Eastern Solstice. So that's, all the things. There will be a chart leader. We've got 2 pets coming up as well, one from the Wall event and one from the Eastern Solstice Zone story. Our first little guy, the Hajmoda Hatchling, is earned by collecting and using fragments that drop from the Writhing Wall daily reward coffers. As with the skill style fragments, the achievement is account-wide, so any character who gets a Hajmoda scale in a reward coffer can consume it, and it will count toward getting the pet. Our second new pet will come from the achievement associated with completing the final step of the main zone story, The Final Dark. However, I unfortunately cannot show you the pet, which is called the Slothsurer pet, because it isn't working on the PTS. This is where I talk about how I love the way the PTS lets us learn about and test upcoming content. I've got a video about the PTS, how to log into it and why, and so on, which I will link here in case you're interested. We've got 2 new mementos and 1 new emote coming with the Season of the Worm Cult content. The first we'll look at is the Writhing Wall Remnant memento, which is earned by completing the quest Crossing the Wall, the first step of the main zone story, which unlocks the achievement Barrier Buster. Here's what that memento looks like. Our second memento is earned by completing the quest. Hey everyone, Editing Zells here. The more I look at this memento, the more I feel that the action it portrays is a quest spoiler. I want these videos to be complete, but I don't want to spoil quests either, so here's our compromise. A couple of days after the PC at Mac release, end of October, I will put up a short showing this memento. If you are living in the future, and if YouTube allows me to link shorts, it will be linked here. Until then, I'm sorry, and if you think I'm being overly cautious, especially after you've done the quest and get the memento, please let me know in the comments. Lastly, we have a new emote which can be purchased from the War Researcher in Cyrodiil for 100,000 AP. You will also need 50 Arena Gladiator proofs to use the container. And here's what the emote looks like. And the last batch of rewards coming with the Writhing Wall and Update 48 are the titles, and we've got 4. I've mentioned before that the Savior of Solstice achievement, which includes doing all the things, also awards the title Savior of Solstice. The Savior of Solstice achievement includes the achievement Hero of Eastern Solstice, which is the quests and delve clearing and world boss killing. Hero of Eastern Solstice will also grant the title Death's Gift. In turn, the Hero of Eastern Solstice achievement includes the achievement Champion of Solstice, which is completing all 5 previous Zone Story quests in Western Solstice, as well as the 6 new Zone Story quests in Eastern Solstice. The Champion of Solstice achievement grants the title Wormbane. And the last title to include is one that comes from the event, but in order to earn it, you have to participate in the Phase 3 takedown of the Writhing Fortress that we will encounter after we punch through the wall. I'll talk more about that part of the event in my Writhing Wall video, so keep an eye out for that. I usually mention other changes at the end when showing the charts, but most of the miscellaneous stuff this go-around was bug fixing and animation tweaking. You might notice, for example, that your weapon unsheathes and resheathes faster than it did, but that won't affect light weaving at all. Similarly, the animation for dodge rolling was tweaked. One nice change I'm happy to announce is that with Update 48, we will see an increase in the amount of rare drops of house furnishings coming from nodes, algae-laden sunport packs, and antiquity excavation bonus loot. However, by far the biggest non-reward updates are to PvP builds in the Vengeance campaign, where loadouts and perks were introduced. I've been a big fan of the Vengeance campaign so far, but to be honest, I didn't get a lot of time to play with these. I'll admit I got sucked into the wall dailies, and I ended up focusing on those. I'll be curious to see how these affect my fun in Cyrodiil when a Vengeance campaign pops up after Update 48. My last note is that while 2 new player homes were available in the PTS for testing, the patch note said they will be for sale from the Crown Store, so they aren't rewards, so I didn't feature them. And that, my fellow Tamrielites, was a showcase of all the rewards coming with the Writhing Wall event that begins on October 13 and Update 48, Season of the Worm Cult Part 2, that goes live on October 27 for PC Mac and November 12 for console. If you are looking for more information about the Writhing Wall event, be sure to check out my next video once it goes live. I will link it at the end of this video. Before I go, a quick reminder that leaving a comment on the video will enter you to win a code giveaway. But even if you aren't interested in doing that, thank you for watching all the way to the end. As always, I appreciate that you took time out of your day to spend with me. Thank you for that. I look forward to having you back in my little corner of the internet soon, but until then, may all your loots be elite.